Yo guys, what is going on? It's Luki here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the top 5 weapons in Modern Warfare right now after the new update 1.12. Now I really do recommend you guys trying out these weapons. They are, in my opinion, some of the best weapons in the game. I really do recommend you guys using them. I have so much fun using these weapons. They are so good, and if you guys are looking for some class setups on these weapons, then there are plenty of class setups on my channel if you guys want to go ahead and check them out. But without further ado, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel with those notifications on, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the top 5 weapons in the game. So as you guys can see, first up, it's going to be the MP5. As you guys can see in the background gameplay right now, I just love the MP5. It is such a good weapon. It is all round one of my favourite weapons in the game. That is why I'm putting it at the beginning of the video, because I haven't really seen too many people use the MP5. Like, a lot of people do use the MP5, of course, but most of my games are just filled with LMGs and M4A1s and stuff like that, and not many people use the MP5. Now, of course, a lot of people do use it, but not enough, enough people try it out. Like, trust me, especially with a few of the attachments that this weapon have. One of the attachments this weapon has is called a subsonic integral suppressor, and it is a very good and a very good unique attachment. Not any other weapon in the game has this attachment on it, and only the MP5 has it. So that is why I'm putting it in today's video. Mainly because of that one simple reason. Now, this weapon is a very well balanced weapon. It's got a nice range on it, hardly any recoil, a beautiful iron sight in my opinion, and it is a very good weapon, and it's just super fun to use. It's a nice, quick, speedy, stealthy weapon, and like I said before, there's an attachment on the barrel attachment called the subsonic integral suppressor. Now, what this attachment does is it makes you have a faster aim down sight speed, which is always very nice. But it also has 3 other pros to it as well, which also makes your weapon have no visible tracers. This basically means when you shoot any weapon on this game, as you guys probably know, there's like a bullet stream that the enemies can see. So if you guys watch closely in the gameplay in the background, you can probably see this little bullet stream, and this does sometimes give away your position, and it's very annoying. If you look closely just there in like any gunfight, if you look very closely to when I shoot at an enemy or when they shoot at me, you will see a little line of like air or something, just like the trace of the bullet, and this basically gets rid of that. So you're going to be very stealthy with the weapon, and the enemies aren't really gonna know where you are shooting them from, which is very good. Next up as well, it also gets rid of the enemies' skulls. So if you guys that didn't know, when you actually kill an enemy, as you guys can see if you watch closely now as well, whenever a teammate dies, as you guys can see right there in front of me, there is a little tiny skull that appears above where my teammate just died. Now obviously this is going to be the same for the enemies as well, so whenever you kill an enemy, all of the enemies' teammates are going to be able to see a little tiny skull above where that player has just died. And this, a lot of the time, does actually give away your position, because a lot of people will see that they have just died from that area, and they will come and try and kill you because they know that you're going to be there, because obviously their teammate has just died there and they can see the skull. Well, this attachment actually gets rid of that, and it's going to make you very stealthy. Also, on top of that, it also increases your suppression, which is very good, and all round this weapon is just a very nice weapon, so I do really recommend you guys giving it a go. Anyway, next up on my list is going to be the FAL. Now this is a personal preference to this weapon, and it is only good for some people. I see a lot of mixed opinions about this weapon. A lot of people say it's one of the best weapons, a lot of people say it's okay, and a lot of people absolutely hate this weapon. Personally, I love this weapon. It is super good if you have a good trigger finger and if you have a good accuracy. Those two things combined will make this weapon extremely overpowered, and it's one of the most important things about when you actually use this weapon. If you miss a few bullets with this weapon, just like say for example you're using a pistol, when you're using a pistol it's very important to hit all your bullets on target as soon as possible, because obviously if you miss any bullet with those, a lot of the other enemies are going to have a fully automatic weapon, and they're just going to be able to hold down the trigger and kill you very quickly. But as you guys can see in the gameplay right now, if you are accurate and if you have a good trigger finger, you guys will absolutely just be dominating every single lobby. This is a super fun and unique weapon to use. I do recommend every one of you giving it a chance. Now, there is also an attachment on this weapon. If you guys don't have a good trigger finger, there's actually an attachment on this weapon which makes it into a I think it makes it into a 2-round burst. I might be wrong, it might be a 3-round burst, but basically there's an attachment on this weapon that basically makes it into a burst weapon instead of a semi-automatic weapon. So I do recommend you guys giving that attachment a go if you guys are struggling with having a good trigger finger. Anyway, that is it for the FAL. Let's get on to the next weapon. So the next weapon in today's video is going to be the AK-47. Now, in my opinion, the AK-47 is probably one of the best assault rifles in the game at the moment. A lot of you guys might be using the M4A1, sorry, or you guys might be using the M13 or something like that, and you guys might disagree with my opinion, but that is completely okay. Everyone has their own opinions. I do recommend you guys leaving your own opinion like down below in the comment section right now. So go ahead and leave a comment right now of what your favorite assault rifle in this game is. I already know that a lot of you guys are probably going to say the M13, the Kilo, or the M4A1, but personally, I actually really do strongly recommend you guys giving the AK-47 a go. Now, this weapon has a very nice damage. It has hardly any recoil on the weapon if you guys can control the recoil, and in my opinion, it's got a very nice fire rate as well. The fire rate on this weapon is one of the slower fire rates on the assault rifles, but still, it does have a high damage as well, so the slow fire rate doesn't really matter because it does have quite a high damage. So if you get all your shots on target with this weapon and you can be accurate, this weapon is going to be absolutely dominant. Now, I do recommend you guys sticking a reflex sight on this weapon. That is just my opinion though. A lot of you guys may disagree with me, but in my opinion, I recommend you guys using a reflex sight on this weapon because the iron sights aren't very nice on this weapon, and it's kind of hard to get a nice accuracy on this weapon with the terrible iron sights. Now, once again, that is completely up to you. You guys can see if you like the iron sights or not, but personally, I do not like the iron sights, and I strongly advise you to use some kind of a sight. Now, like I was saying before, this weapon has quite a slow fire rate, but it's nice and balanced really. It's a nice steady fire rate. It's not going to make your weapon have it too much recoil, but it still does have a little bit of recoil. It's probably one of the assault rifles with one of the most amounts of recoil on them, so I do strongly recommend you guys sticking on a few attachments which will increase your accuracy in any way whatsoever. So maybe the operator foregrip or something that will increase your recoil control, or something along the lines of those. I do strongly recommend you guys giving it a go. Anyway, that is it for that weapon. On to the next one, which is going to be the Kilo 141, which in my opinion is probably, once again, one of the best assault rifles in the game. It's definitely one of the top assault rifles. It's one of the first ones you unlock as well, and at the beginning of the game, I didn't really give this weapon as much chance as I could. At the beginning of the game, I pretty much didn't even use this weapon up until maybe a week ago, and I really didn't give this weapon a chance because I used it for a few games and I absolutely sucked at using it. But then again, it was my first few games on this game, so obviously I wasn't going to be doing that good, and it was one of the first weapons I used, so obviously I wasn't going to be very good with this weapon, and I didn't have any attachments unlocked, and I didn't really give this weapon a chance. But once you unlock a bunch of attachments on this weapon, and once you level up to the maximum it can be, and once you just give it a go, you guys will begin to love this weapon. It is really good. One of the things I love about it, like I said before, is as you guys can see, it has some really nice iron sights, which is going to allow you to have a different attachment other than a reflex sight, because on a lot of the weapons I do have to use a reflex sight, and this basically takes up one of the attachment slots that I could be using on something like an extended mags or a foregrip or something like that. So that is a very good thing about a weapon with a good iron sight, because you don't have to waste a slot on your weapon with using some kind of reflex sight. So I do recommend you guys giving it a go. Also, I recommend you guys sticking on one of the extended mags. The last extended mags attachment you actually unlock has over 100 bullets in it, which is just absolutely insane. You guys are going to be able to rack up a lot of kills every single lobby with those extended mags on. Anyway, that is the fourth weapon in today's video, and on to the last one, which is going to be the PP19 Bison. Now, this weapon is one of the SMGs, and in my opinion, it's probably one of the most underrated SMGs in the game. I don't ever see anyone, literally, I don't think I've ever seen another enemy in my lobby ever use this weapon, and I'm not even exaggerating, but this weapon is extremely good, especially if you stick on the right attachments on it. At the beginning it's not that great with not many attachments on it, but once you get the attachments unlocked on this weapon, it begins to be one of the best weapons in the game. Now, a lot of people who I know in the Call of Duty community have been using this weapon recently, and they've been getting some of the world's fastest nuclears. One of my friends got a nuclear in like 70 seconds with this weapon, another one got it in like 80 seconds, so everyone has been absolutely dominating with this weapon, and I do really recommend you guys giving it a go. Now, this weapon has a very fast fire rate and quite a low damage, but that is fine because obviously with the fast fire rate it makes up for it having quite a low damage output. So I do really recommend you guys giving this weapon a go, and like I said before, you have to give it a chance at the beginning with no attachments on. This weapon might seem a bit rubbish, but once you unlock a bunch of attachments on this weapon, I do recommend you guys just giving it a chance and giving it a go, and you guys will begin to love it. Anyway, that has been it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you guys are looking for any class setups on these weapons in specific, I do have a class setup on every single one of these weapons on my channel, so make sure to go ahead and check those out if you guys would like to. Also, subscribe with those notifications on, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.